May the words of my mouth and the meditation of each one of our hearts be always acceptable to our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. There is probably no passage more requested for funerals than the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Can't read the psalm or hear it without remembering a man by the name of Charlie Francis. He was a prototype of the greatest generation, an engineer who worked for Black & Decker, who actually seemed happiest when he was digging around in the earth in his garden. In 2003, Charlie became quite ill. He had a blood disorder. And I would go down to the University of Maryland and would visit him in the hospital. And I remember so well that Charlie would tell me how he would read this psalm before every mission in the South Pacific during World War II. And now he would recite that psalm every day in the hospital in the last days of his life. And he talked about how much that psalm meant to him, how it had sustained him in every moment of decision, every moment of darkness, of light and love. The psalm was a prayer, a plea, an assurance, an affirmation. And I'm convinced that Charlie read the psalm not because he was fearful, but because he was extraordinarily brave. Brave when he went on those missions, and brave to the end when he finally entered into larger life. As a priest, more often than not, I found that when life is drawing to a close for a child of God, when that person knows that he's entered into the valley of the shadow of death, and he knows that the end of life is near, inevitably that person will reach out their hand for this old friend, the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd. And it's because the psalm dares, I think, to speak about the deepest things, to speak about death, to speak about the end, to talk about goodness, to talk about the dark valley that we each pass through. Here is then the rarest of scriptures. It's both for the beginning of life to be memorized when we're in nursery school, and for the end of life, when we're about to enter larger life. When life makes us wonder if God is really there for us, if God really does care for us. For many of us, it's the 23rd Psalm who comforts us as only an old friend can, reassuring us of the presence of something holy and good, sacred, that we call God, who makes, leads, restores, comforts, prepares, anoints, so that in the darkness or in the light, in life or in death, we know that we live in the presence of God. But I want to share something that is not very understood about our old friend. It comes from that verse, surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. Goodness and mercy will follow me. Now there's one word in that verse that can be translated in a way that I think is going to change your relationship with goodness and mercy. See, the Hebrew word that we commonly translate as follow, it can be, and it's probably more appropriately translated pursue. That's a huge difference to follow or to pursue. The translation of this action, it's to run after or to pursue. It's used many times in the Hebrew scriptures. One of the most telling is in the Exodus story, when Pharaoh's chariots, they're after the children of Israel to the Red Sea. It says that Pharaoh pursues them. And so likewise for you and for me, goodness and mercy, it's pursuing us. It's chasing us all the days of our life. And so when you're going through life, don't look over your shoulder and expect to see good old predictable goodness and mercy tagging along like an old dog, trudging up the hill behind you. But rather, look over that shoulder. You are being pursued. You are being chased by breathless goodness and mercy like a passionate lover, saying, we're going to get you sooner or later. You know we're going to catch up to you, and we're going to hold on to you and never, ever let you go. The Lord is my shepherd, the shepherd who pursues you, wanting to wrap you in goodness and mercy. Now, there are going to be times when we're going to find ourselves being chased through the valley of the shadow. Kind of feels like that now sometimes. When it seems as if hatred and violence, discord and disease have won. And during those times, we got to remember that the shadow is not the only thing in pursuit. But my friends, God's mercy and goodness, they're chasing you too. And they always win the race. And so my prayer today, for you, for me, for the world, is simply this. In this moment when acts of courage, small and large, are required so that we listen and respond to our better angels, may you be brave and know that goodness and mercy are pursuing you this day and all the days of your life. But now, especially now, take a moment and stop. Let them catch up. Let them wash over you and heal you as only God's goodness and mercy and love and comfort can. Amen.